Welcome to this season of the Broadway Podcast, where here we give you a more real-time point of view of people who work, interact, and entertain here in Broadway, Nashville. We get the opportunity to provide hot gossip, but we also take the opportunity to provide a more positive outlook on people who call Nashville their home. Ride with us as we take you down a trip on Broadway.
This is the life we choose, life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I've been doing just fine, alright now. This is the life we choose. This is the life we choose.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm stoked to have you here.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much.
No, for
Honestly,
sure,
this means a
for
lot.
sure.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me, man. I had a podcast yesterday with some friends, and I was letting them know how this podcast meant to me, like as far as like just being able to show the growth of David and like seeing how I'm doing right now as far as like a bartender, because I've been doing it for a very long time. And I've known that you have been doing similar things as well.
Yeah.
You are a jack of all trades, I feel like. So music is one thing that you're really passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the music, I want to know about like Nick before he came to Nashville. Like, where are you from?
All right. So born and raised Kent, Ohio, little college town, about 40 minutes south of Cleveland. So winters up there were not fun, you know.
I bet.
Older brother, weren't too similar growing up. You know, I always played sports and went out and did all these things, and he was more of a homebody, but still very close. Love him to death. Started getting into music when I was about 13 or 14. Just started writing poetry. It would help me with a lot of things, you know. And then throughout high school, started writing songs. And I think I was about 18. I remember very specifically. I went to Matt's house. You know Matt.
I do that, Matt. I love Matt.
Uh-huh. And they had this beat pad in front of them. And they were like clicking things and making sounds. And I was like, dude, let me try. So I went on there and I put a little hi-hat down. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I need this. I need the whole setup. So got a job at JCPenney.
Oh.
Yeah, it sucked. Dude.
Not the retail.
Yeah, I was a truck boy. So
You
I
always should be retail for a little bit, though.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I worked there just as long enough to save enough money to buy all that equipment. So then I started doing that, started producing and everything.
Mm.
And then looking into music schools, it was a program in LA, Atlanta, New York. And didn't really have a desire to go to New York. LA was way out of my price range. And then Atlanta kind of scares me. So I ventured out and found a small little program in Franklin.
Mm.
And then moved here as soon as I graduated high school. Came down here, one of my buddies, and attended an audio engineering, music production, music business class, and spent all day, every day just working on that. And it was so much fun.
Wow. I didn't know you went to school down here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to school for music either. That's new news.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
How'd you know when you were actually getting good at it? Like, you know, sometimes you start off and you think you're good and then you really suck.
Yeah.
And then like you start realizing like, oh man, I can really kind of do this. Like I can, you know, start making some beats or like music or sing or whatever like that. When did you know that you were getting good? Did somebody tell you, or you just kind of was like?
I remember the exact moment. I threw a party in high school and I was a DJ, and people came up and were like, Nick, you got to play your song. And I played it and everyone sang along to it. And it was like the most euphoric feeling ever. I was like, yeah, I'm the shit. It was so cool. It was so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love that, man. So right now, as far as music is concerned, are you still writing? Like, what do you got going on right now?
I did take a long break. Just a lot got in the way. But recently, over the last couple months, I have been producing a lot more. I want to get well, not really an album, but like an EP done by the summer. So I've been working on a couple songs since then, just trying to switch up the vibe, get out of my comfort zone from previous things that I've made. It's gonna be cool. I showed you a couple things.
You did show me a couple things. I like the music you got going on right now. I think it's very necessary because we hear the same shit every time we come to Nashville.
Yeah.
And no offense or no knock, but like variety is music. Music is variety. So like if people want to have options, I think your music kind of gives people options as far as like not like this standard generic like rock and roll, country, whatever. So it's almost like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, switch it up.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta switch it up.
Give them something they don't know they need. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And make them want more and more and more and more.
Yes, give me that.
Exactly. Let him eat. What's going on now? Like, so what music are you working on right now? Like, what's the gist of it? Like, is it still like kind of like in the same elements? And like, talk to me about like your style of music.
So I started off doing it was like SoundCloud rap, like in high school. Obviously, that wasn't the vibe. Yeah, nope. And then it got more melodic as it went on. I had like a little R&B kind situation going on, and then pop, and then I dipped into EDM, and then like alternative rock. Now it's more like, I don't even know what genre it is. It's just like a lot of almost like atmospheric. Like,
now, is it similar to like what you actually like?
Yeah.
As far as like say for instance, like who do you like the most for, as far as like an artist or whatever right now? Like right now, artists, who do you like really listen to?
Jeremy Zucker.
So is that kind of like your style?
Kind of, yeah. A couple of his songs are like the vibe that I'm trying to go for right now.
I don't think I've heard of him.
Maybe he's not like super big, but I don't know. He's a genius.
What kind of music is it? Is it like folky or what?
No, it's chill. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, but he's got some other like more upbeat type things. He does a lot of strips where it's like just him playing a guitar and singing. Like it's so beautiful.
I bet it's good though. I'm sure it's really good.
It's really cool.
Are you looking at or interested in like live performance? Like how do you feel about that?
So I used to do that a lot in high school. Fun fact, I don't know if you knew this about me.
I do not know. I'm ready for this.
Yeah. It was I was doing a lot of shows at the Kent Stage, which is like, it used to be an old theater. And one time I opened up it's so crazy to say out loud because I was so young when I did it, but I went up and I sang like 2 songs. It was back in the day where I was wearing like khakis and a stripe, like
the frat look,
and like some Jordan 5s, dude. It was so cringy, but I did that, and then my buddy came on, and then after that was Waka Flocka Flame. Nuts.
That's sick.
Nuts.
That's kind of sick. I like that.
Yeah, crazy.
How did it go? How did the show go?
I was super nervous, as anyone would be,
especially at a young age like that.
And then Flocka came on, and it was so nuts. It was crazy.
Oh, I bet that was dope as hell.
He's huge. Like he's such a big person.
Really?
Yeah, he's tall as fuck.
Really? I've never
He's a
seen
teddy
him
bear
in
though.
person.
He's so nice.
I bet.
Yeah.
So like, as far as Nashville is concerned, do you think you're gonna do anything here? I would love to see you live.
Yeah. I've definitely dipped into some of those.
Yeah.
Like I would go to Live Oak and see my buddies perform all the time, like the writers rounds and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
Antonio, weren't you doing something like that before? Yeah.
Yeah.
The writers rounds and what else?
But I would go there and like talk to some of the people that coordinated who performs and who doesn't. And I had a slot, but it's guys up there with like acoustic guitars and boots, and they're doing country songs, and that's not really my vibe. Yeah. But
it doesn't have to be your vibe though.
Yeah. And then one day I was at Spasmatics. You know what that is? So every Sunday from 4 to 7 at Scoreboard, this band plays, and they are just so good. Like I used to go every single Sunday for a year. And one day I got to talking with this guy. He's like, "What do you like to do?" I'm like, "I like to party, make music, And he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Show me something." So I showed him "Life We Choose."
Love that song, by the way.
Yes. And dude, this is so cool how it all happened. He goes, "I want you, like, can I use your song? This is a perfect anthem for us." It was Mother's Day last year at Play. They did like a contest kind of.
Yeah.
It was like people doing dances and like modeling and all this, and they wanted "Life We Choose" to be the anthem for when like the winner came on.
Yeah.
And he invited me to do a show there. So I went and I sang that song, and it was so cool because no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
They've never heard that song, and it was nothing but like support.
It's also a place where everybody's supporting you. Everybody's like here for like the cause. I love that.
Yeah. And then the winners came on. Obviously, it wasn't me. There's guys in like ninja suits doing flips and stuff. Like it was so cool, dude. But when they went on the stage, "Life We Choose" played over the speakers, and there was like confetti, and I'm like, this is crazy right now. So that's the only time I performed in Nashville.
I love that. And that's crazy that you said that Life We Choose was something they chose, because I chose the same song for my podcast. That song kind of like, you know how you do something and it unintentionally is like great? And like, I think that song was an unintentional great song because it kind of registers to a lot of different situations in people's lives. And for them to play it, and now I'm planning on my podcast for, I think the next, for the first season, I'm going to use it. And then I appreciate you for letting me use your song.
Dude, thank you. That's amazing.
I think that it really speaks volumes. But like the thing is, like, I don't want you to give up on, like, say for instance, like you get that clout from that song that you didn't expect, you know, all this like heat from. And then what do you do next? Like, what do you do with it? Like, you don't want to just like let it sit on the shelf with dust on it. You know, you don't want it to like wither away.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? Like, how do you, what's your intentions right now? Like, what are you going to do? Like,
so I was in a rut for a while. You know, I've been making music for a long time, pretty much since that EP dropped.
mm-hmm.
But recently started to get back into it. And a couple nights ago, I met someone who wants to hear my music and is in the position to help me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I think, email that to them either today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Make sure you're not giving them MP3 because 2024. But no, that'd be great. Let me know how that goes for real, because I'm gonna always support. I think being in Nashville, it is a big city, but like also like it's a city where you support the industry or the cause or the music, and I think we do a really good job here. Like as far as like the masses, people support each other. I love that. That's one of the good things I like about Nashville is that people actually support each other when it comes to like their music and it comes to like their aspirations, what they want to do. So yeah. With that being said, I want to talk about your industry life, because the music is going to be there. I'm going to always plug and play the music. But I know right now you're bartending. Is that correct?
Yeah, just started.
And how is that going?
Dude, I'm so happy and blessed and excited all at the same time. Like I've been serving for so long, and that's always been my passion, you know, like just making people happy, I guess. Right. Like if they can come in and I can brighten their day, make them laugh, anything. I love that. Right. And I've been doing that for years. And then I finally got an opportunity to get behind the bar, and it is a lot different. A lot of respect for you guys. It's a lot harder, not going to lie, but it's where I want and need to be. Like being back there, hanging out with people. Because like working on Broadway, you get to talk to people every day from all over the world.
Exactly, yeah.
Like my first day solo behind the bar, I had a couple from Switzerland, and we were just shooting the shit for like 3 hours. Like it's so cool. And they come here to see us. So it means a lot that we can like brighten their day and make them feel welcome.
Well, they come here to see us, and they come here to see the venues too. Like these venues, these big name venues, people like it almost like surprised me how how they've reached China, Japan, Canada, like Australia.
Legendary,
like
dude.
I almost come to work, I'm like, this is honky tonk, because everybody I've met today is from another country, you know. And that speaks volumes to country music and like music in general, that it can like spread. And I think it's important that we understand as bartenders that people are coming here as tourists and as with their eyes open and their phones out. They want to have a good experience. And I feel like people like you with these big, good personalities are necessary for the bar industry. Because how do you feel about it? Like bartending on Broadway is kind of hard, right? Like it's hard to get there, first of all. Mm-hmm. And once you get there, it's really kind of hard to stay in a good spot, you know?
Yeah. And
what's your experience like with that? Like I know you went from serving to bartending. How was that transition? Like, do you think it's hard? Like, give me some insight.
It was all super new, you know? But just like anything, practice, you can get into it. And it was just a long time coming. Yeah. I've been working hard, serving for a long time. And now I finally get the opportunity to do this. It's like, I'm going to try to perfect it. Like I want to be amazing at it so I can.
Do you think you're prepared for it though?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like training and stuff. I thought I was killing it, you know, but I also haven't worked a Friday night yet or Saturday night. And that's when it gets crazy.
Well, for the general audience, people that don't know what a Friday night and a Saturday night is versus like a Monday or Tuesday, like give me kind of like like give me the examples of what do you mean as far as like working a weekend versus working a weekday. Yeah.
So like Monday morning, it might be steady, you know, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna meet a decent amount of people, but you can have an opportunity to like actually talk to them and connect and like get to know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday night, you're up, you're making drinks, snack, you're going for it with like still trying to be, you know, involved on who you're talking with.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
but it gets so overwhelming. Like so many people.
Tell me about it. I'm even me, like somebody who's been bartending for a long time. I'm like, oh
damn,
can I get a second? Like,
yeah.
And like I think people, it's like overload sometimes, and you're like, damn man, can you just like, because like I work at a very busy volume place too, you know, and sometimes it can be like people forget that I'm at work and they're in the venue versus like the need to want to get a drink right now because like the music's going, you know, like it's crowded. They want to hurry up.
It's Friday night.
Yeah, it's Friday night. Everybody's like getting there. Everybody's like jigging or whatever. And it's like, dude, chill. Like people get so like amped up, which is fine because like we go out of town, we do the same things.
Yeah, we do.
But it also gives us appreciation of like, okay, the bartender is slam. Let me give him a second. Or because like even for me, like I can get overwhelmed. You know, like I might not show it because of the, you know, like of my veteranship, but like somebody who's new like you, that can be overwhelming for somebody. And so like that's why I feel like it's hard for a new person to come on the scene and be successful because like you're under a microscope. We work in some of the busiest venues in the world actually. Yeah. And you know, little old Nick coming here with this great personality, getting his ass kicked, you know.
You want a vodka Tito's? I got you.
Vodka Tito's, like, no, and soda, right? So with that being said, do you think that this is something that you're going to be successful at or what? Like, I think you'll be successful.
I know I will.
For sure.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of practice, but I want to make this work. I think
it'll work for you though. I mean, you spark the room every time you go anywhere. Like, you know, we've been friends for a little while and, dude, like I could be in a bad mood and I'm around Nick. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's talk about some experiences we've had at work. We get some characters, right?
Absolutely.
Can you give me give me a really funny experience before we go to like a really like I'm not even gonna say piss me off experience, but are you kidding me? Kind of experience, you know, like what's like one of the funniest moments you've had with the guests?
There's so many. There was one situation that was just super funny to me. So I'm waiting tables and a little bachelorette group comes in. They seem totally fine, you know, because you don't know how much they drank before they come in, where they're at, you know. And she goes, "Oh, it's my birthday, or we're down here for a wedding, or whatever." I'm like, "Awesome, let's
of course you are.
Right, I'm going." I'm like, "Let's do a round of shots." I'm like, "All right," and they seem totally fine. And I get them a round of shots. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like at a different table, like checking in, and I see this girl sprint across the room, just like projectile, like in front of people while they're eating food on the way to the bathroom. God. And like her friend, it's like 4 p.m.
Hold on.
4 or
what
5.
Day was it on? Like a Monday or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, it might have been like a Thursday, but still. And her friend's like holding her hair in front of like the entire venue, just like helping her get through it.
Insanity.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, sweetie. Go
Dude,
take a nap."
And that happens a lot often than you think. And then a lot of these venues have restaurants in them and stuff. So like you would think like, all right, it's not that bad. But in the summertime, like you're in a restaurant, no matter what floor you're on, like it can get a little dirty, you know?
It can get dicey.
I had some experiences, man. And like a lot of families are starting to gravitate towards Broadway. Which I don't want to talk about.
Squish.
Because we are, and I mean, we want all walks of life to come to Nashville, right?
Yeah, of course.
But like I think that you gotta know like what times to like make it safe to come to Nashville with your kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
So that can be an experience too, you know. I've had some experiences where I almost ran over a child because first of all, I'm not used to, you know, a little toddler running around in a venue downtown because like I don't work at so-and-so place outside of the city where like families come here all the time. I think that people like that's we attract so many people to come to Nashville. It's like people's families come, people, you know, just not bachelorettes and bachelors come, like families come too.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been in situations where like I literally could have been in a lawsuit because like I don't know the kids there and like I'm like going a mile a minute and boom, zone. You know. Yeah. So I think that people should be a little bit more aware that this is a tourist town, you know? And that's why when I was saying earlier about being nice and friendly and it's being open to like, you know, your audience, is because you're getting all walks of life in Nashville. And we want that, you know? We don't want to just bring a certain crowd and that's it. That's no fun, you know? Yeah. I think it's very important to be, have those personalities like you have. Because, you know, we all know there's people out there that don't have those personalities.
Yeah.
And I think that Nashville's doing a really good job of, you know, bringing in like fresh, you know, happy faces, because at the end of the day, we're here for the people that come in town, not for ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And we can kind of get caught up in like the smoke of like, I work on Broadway and just have like this kind of like mentality that I'm like, my shit don't stink kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's such an eye-roll like attitude to have. And I'm really happy that we're kind of steering away from that a little bit.
That won't get you far. You
At
know?
all, ever. So with your music, let's go back to that. You're saying that you're working on some things right now. Do you think that, how are you going to present that to us? Like, what are you doing right now as far as like?
I'll show you guys snippets as I'm like working through it. Obviously, you guys are my best friends. So I'm going to show you what I've been working on. And then when it's all done, like all completely done, mixed, mastered and everything, I'll start promoting that. There's a little algorithm I use. I've been doing that for the last couple EPs that I dropped. So I'll probably
using
just do the same
algorithms
thing.
now? We do TikTok?
Yeah, it's there's like the TikTok thing, and then there's you like promote it 6 months in advance, and then it like eventually gets distributed to all platforms and stuff. But when the whole thing's done, I'm gonna be like, yo, come over, let's just take a peek.
You know, I'm
See
going to
what
be
you guys are
there.
thinking.
I'm going to be there. You think it's hard to focus on your music being so young in Nashville because all the distractions that we have here?
100%, absolutely.
Tell me about it.
I'm such a yes man. So every time someone wants to go do something, I'm in. I'm down. You want to go here? Let's go. You want to meet up? When are we doing it? You know?
Yeah.
So it does distract me from just like being alone and working on my music. That's something I personally need to work on. But I just, you know, we're young. We work downtown. I want to have fun. I want to experience the city and live my life, you know? But at the same time, music has always been there for me. It's got me through so much. So I've been trying to dip back into that more than just let's go to Broadway.
All right. Does that make you happy, the music?
It does, yeah. It got me through a lot. I started making music because I was like in a dark spot and I listened to one song specifically that got me through it. And I thought, well, if that song can make me feel this way, my goal is to make music that can help people in a certain situation, make them feel better, make them not feel alone. And then that's what got me into it. And then it's always been there for me, man. I love it. You got the little, kiss me.
Oh, your little tattoos?
Yeah, it's the lips with the music notes in them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, distractions in Nashville it can make or break you, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you have things going on. Like, for instance, this podcast for me, it's like I had to make the right decisions to make this happen, you know? And any advice I can give to somebody, I would say if you're really passionate about something, you know, don't wait around to when it comes to you. You go to it, you know? And you make it happen. Like, you make the right decisions and you make the right choices that you need to make for your music, for instance, or like for my podcast. Because at the end of the day, there's an end game and an out game. You know, you're young. I'm still young. You're young. I'm getting to that point where like I have to start thinking about, you know, what's the next chapter as far as like I can't continuously bartend until I'm whatever years old, just for the sake of the fact that like I have other goals in mind, but also like for my body, for my mind, like that's not healthy, you know? And we got to start thinking about those things. And like, you're young. I want you to always have fun, but you know, I think your music is something you like. I mean, apparently you love it a lot to like make it and like produce it and stuff. You know, what are some things you think you're doing right now to, you know, to focus more on music versus like, you know, hanging out or doing the Nashville thing?
On my free time when I don't have any plans and there's nothing going on, I try to get back in my bedroom and just, even if it's making a beat for an hour or sitting down and writing a song, like it's the little steps that'll get me back into that.
Yeah.
And also I have to have more self-control. Like I have to start being a no man. You know, I can't say yes and go out every opportunity I have. I need to dial it back and get back to my roots.
Back to my roots. I show up in boots. Love that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You're totally right, man. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be known. Like for me, like I didn't want to be known for, because like let's be real. Like I've been here for 8 years. Nashville was just like these shining bright lights, and when you don't know nobody and you have 15 bars per block, you can like go just get hammered drunk at it. It makes it easy to like, not think about important things, and being able to prioritize that is very important in Nashville. I think people don't realize that coming into the city, that when you live in New Orleans, you're going to act like you live in New Orleans. When you live in Nashville, you're going to act like you live in Nashville.
Yeah.
And it can be really hard. I think the strongest people that I know are able to, categorize what is important and what they want in their life versus what's not important.
And you've been doing great with that, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Like a switch turned on and you're like, this is what I have to do. This is how I'm going to get it done. And you've been demonstrating that. Like, proud of you.
I'm proud of you as well, because I think that once you settle in and you start getting your music back on the right track or whatever like that, I think that people is going to gravitate towards that. And people are going to respect it more. Because, when you start respecting yourself, people are going to start respecting what you have to offer.
Period.
So for me, it's like, this is all that I want. I want people to see a different side. I think with your music, you want people to see a different side. And you need to start thinking about that a little bit. I think when you start like putting yourself on social media more and you start like really broadcasting, positive things, I think positive things happen. Are you doing anything social media wise? What's going on with that?
Not really. I lost my Instagram for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I finally got back in. Post a couple pictures and stuff, but I haven't promoted music since like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you so are you on all platforms, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you so what do you think? Are you plugging in music to your Instagrams and TikToks and stuff like that right now?
Link in my bio. A couple different projects on there. I have 3 projects, but they're all under different names, like aliases, just to see what people would like. And then the last one that I made was like more me, and I just went by Nic Mitov.
Got you. Are you on SoundCloud, or how can people find you? Basically, is what I'm getting at.
Pretty much everything, like Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, anywhere you can stream music.
Under the name, or what's the tagline? Like, what's your at?
You can do one is like, I made an album under Shy, SHY. I did one under Landon Hill. That's more like EDM pop, like club type stuff. You. And then Nic Mitov is like the alternative rock one.
Well, we'll get together and we'll get those tags, and then I'll put them up from on my,
that'd be huge,
on my stuff too, so we can kind of share your music.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to sit down. I've learned a lot about you too. I didn't know the music school thing. That was new for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck. I really hope that you can really get a lot of things taken care of with your music. And your friends and family are always going to support you.
I know.
You just got to stay focused.
I know.
And I appreciate you, man. We will see you next time, I guess, huh?
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me. This was it's been a long time. You've been working on this. It's so exciting.
Dude, I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
It's going to be sweet. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man.
This means a lot, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
This is the life we choose. Life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't